What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm not only going to give you a full-on list of the best niches working in 2025, but a list of which ones to avoid, why you should avoid them, how to spot if a niche is good or not for outreach, and most importantly, how to pick niches by yourself, which is such an important skill, especially in the future. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, copy these copywriting niches and make your outreach 10 times more effective, okay? Don't miss out on this. But before we start, disclaimer, this isn't just going to be a cookie cutter list, okay? I'm also going to explain how to find good niches and how to filter if a niche is any good or not, okay? So that you can find some niches on your own too, because I'd rather teach you how to use a fishing rod than just to give you a couple of fishes. Does it make sense? Because being able to make decisions by yourself, especially in this copywriting game and in the entrepreneurship game in general, is gonna turn out to be insanely valuable in the future, okay? Trust. So why finding your own niche is crucial, okay? And why you shouldn't just copy anyone else's niche because they say it works. Well, nobody works hard for something they hate doing for too long, okay? That's a truth of life. That's a nature law. And one of the biggest perks of copywriting and freelancing in general is that it allows you to choose the niche you want to work in, okay? Now, finding your perfect niche will allow you to A, love what you do, B, love who you work with, okay? This is going to turn out to be super important in the long path. C, work super energized, and D, make big bucks in the long run. So as you can see in this meme, this is the difference between a dream niche or a bad niche, okay? But most importantly is that by choosing the correct niche, you can allow yourself to obsess over your craft. And by obsessing over your craft, you can gain these 4 P's, which I like to call, which are proficiency, which is mastery of that niche, like being really good at it. P of passion, so loving what you do, which makes you work with extra energy and vitality. Power, which means you're the best in that realm and everybody respects you. And payments, what we're here for, right? The bigger your skill, the bigger the price, okay? So now that we got that out of the way, I must warn you that not everything is subjective, okay? I mean, you may like some niches, but some niches are just straight dookie, okay? They're just straight poop. So let's check out the money versus poop graph or scale for copywriting niches as it's created. So on the left side, you have niches that bring you little to no money, which are brutal and unstable. You don't know if it's going to be on the run tomorrow, and it has barely any prospect. You can just scavenge throughout the internet like fucking birds or something, and you won't find any, or you will find very few. It's so underground. And then on the right side, you have money side. You have big money to be made, happy, stable work. You know, it's niche that's gonna last forever or for a long ass time, and hundreds of prospects every day. Okay, you can just go on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere, school, and find 50 to 100 prospects every single day. Now, I'm gonna talk about some niches and place down the scale throughout this video, so stick until the end, okay? Put this video on full screen and prepare yourself. Now, before we start though, make sure to join my free community because I've just launched a 1.5 hour free course. You just have to join the Discord and click on free course and you can access it. It's 5 modules, it's 1.5 hours of knowledge and straight fire. So if you're trying to make it in copywriting, I suggest you watch it. Now, how to find your own niche, okay, what we're here for. In 3 easy actionable steps, because I hate watered down information. Well, first, what are you going to write? This is so important because there's so many types of copywriting. You can write scripts, Instagram captions, emails, TikTok scripts, which are different from YouTube long form scripts, school descriptions, sales pages, webinar slideshows, etc. Anything you can think of is copy. So first you need to choose one. If you're a beginner, I suggest you start with something like scripts, captions, and emails, especially emails, because they will teach you a lot about marketing and they're really easy they're not easy at the beginning, but they're easy to master. It's not like a sales page where you have to study plenty of them and just write and, crumble down on your keyboard and write a lot. They're short, they're convenient, they show you everything you need to know about marketing, and you can be ready in like a month for emails. So choose one. Next, who are you going to write to? Okay, like ideally, like meaning who could benefit the most from what you're going to write, right? So I want you to list 4 to 8 types of business owners who could benefit from the specific copy type that you choose. Meaning that, for example, who could benefit from sales pages? Well, YouTubers selling a course, or professionals offering high-tech coaching, or a company trying to sell a physical product, or a tech startup trying to sell some software, or a fitness guru selling an ebook about nutrition. Like, who could benefit from this copywriting type, like emails, captions, scripts, etc.? Who could benefit from it, and make a list, right? And next, number 3, from the previous lists of business owners you just made, who aligns the most with your ideas, or who you want to work with? Okay, so for example, on the sales page list, if I list a fitness guru selling an ebook, maybe I like his content, but maybe I don't want to become a fitness guru, or I don't want to work with one. But for example, if somebody has a school community and they have an educational product, like, I don't know, how to manage your time as a business owner, for example, and I'm interested in that, and I want to become that, I want to become an educational person and teach people real stuff, then I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into school owners, right? So choose the one that aligns with your ideas the most. Now, how I found my niche. So you have some example. Well, what I wanted to write was YouTube scripts and Instagram captions at the beginning. I also wrote a lot of emails, but to begin with, I kind of knew how to do it, so I started with that. Next, who are you going to write to? Well, I started writing to Instagram influencers selling coaching and courses, and YouTubers, because those were the kind of people who could benefit from scripts and captions. And third, from the previous list, who I wanted to work with, or who aligned more with my ideas, well, it was YouTubers, because I've always been on YouTube and I like it more than TikTok and all this brain rush short form content. And guess what? I ended up becoming a YouTuber and working for YouTubers mainly. So that's pretty much my whole niche. So now that you answer those questions, I want you to answer this. What are your previous skills? Okay, what are you kind of like good at? Okay, I don't care if you think you're not good at anything. I'm sure there's something you've practiced in the past. So, for example, have you trained your body for years? Have you been in the gym for a long time? What are some skills that could help you select a niche? So, if you've been training in the gym for a long time or a short time, something, you can aim at fitness influencers. I mean, it's not the best niche. This is a bad example, but you get the point. Or did you get out of a toxic relationship and escape from it and healed from it and you learned a lot? Well, you can go for dating and couple advice because you know so much about emotional intelligence. Or have you read a bunch of self-help books and know loads about mindset or psychology? Well, you can aim at self-improvement gurus. Okay? In my case, I work as a video editor for YouTubers during quarantine, like in 2020. You can see there, that's my Fiverr. And from listening to so many scripts and editing so many videos, which is like slave labor, I legit got paid barely anything. I had an ear for YouTube scripts because I heard so many. And it was like second nature to me to start with YouTube scripts in this case. So my niche is mainly YouTube. But your niche could be Instagram if you're all day scrolling and you just, all these scripts just start to sound similar. And it's like, okay, I see a pattern here. You can start with Instagram captions, then go ahead. So what are your previous skills? Now, in my case, YouTubers was such a broad niche, okay? I needed to kind of like niche down and get specific. Because the thing is, in business in general, specialists always have authority, okay, over generalists. So, for example, a heart surgeon has more authority than a general doctor. He's more important, or a biomedical engineer versus an electrician. Like, who do you recall gets paid the most? Who sounds like gets paid the most? Does that make sense? And to become a G or the best in any field, you must aim at the famous 10,000 hour mark. So for example, someone who played the piano for 10,000 hours is going to be really good at playing the piano. But if you were to pick someone who played 10 instruments at 1,000 hours each, he wouldn't be as good. He wouldn't be a tenth as good at playing the piano. So they're not going to choose him for the audition, obviously. So being specific and focusing on one thing at a time is super important, especially when getting paid. So the point is, how are you going to get more eyeballs, to then get more interest, to then get more business opportunities, to then get some guap, some money? How are you going to do that? Well, are you going to do it by being top tier, like top 10% in one niche that you master, or being mediocre or mid in 15 niches? You already know the answer. That's why specificity is key. Okay? So, here's a real example of my channel. Marked in red, you can see when I started, I made these videos. These are my first videos ever. When marked in red, you can see some videos that I made that barely had a niche. They were not focused on my niche. They were kind of like copywriting, but like self-improvement. It was like motivation all over the place. It was a mess. And you can see it by the titles that were aimed at nobody. It was like, you're not ready for this video, or this infinite motivation hack saved me. Like, what are these titles? They're not specific. Super Saiyan mode. Don't watch this. Like, who is this aimed to? Nobody looked at these thumbnails or these titles and felt an urge to click there, because it wasn't specified for nobody, right? As you could see the results in the views, they had very few views. But on the other hand, when I focused on my niche and I started making videos on copywriting, like the best average method to use as a beginner, copywriting, or I tried copywriting for 2 months, or how Tom Stoic almost made me buy it, full copywriting breakdown, you can see how the views went up by a lot. And that's the importance, and that's the power of niching down, okay? So you can see a real example. Now, you can separate niches into three categories, okay? These are 3 categories that you are going to choose from. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you how to be more specific. But these are just general topics. So, first category, and I kind of like, I set the money emoji on the side to kind of like mark how much money they give you. So the most money, the more money emojis you will see, because there are some categories that give you more money or less money. So we're going to focus on that. But first we have business models. Okay. So things like SMMA, info products like courses or ebooks, coaches, e-commerce, growth operating, this new thing, affiliate marketing. These are business models, and prospects who work in this realm already have a lot of money because they've made money with this. Now they're selling a course, and you want to help them sell that, okay? And you can do that with your copywriting skills. But it's such a good category because people in there already have money and they're willing to pay you because you're saving so much time for them. You're doing a skill that they cannot do. So business models is the niche. It's like the big category you should focus on, but I'm going to show you a couple more. Then you have hobbies. As you can see, it's only $1 emoji because it makes way less money, because things like skateboarding, football, Minecraft, cooking, cars, traveling, drama, they may get a ton of views. Matter of fact, they may be the most viewed on YouTube. But how do they monetize it? By placing ads in between, maybe like 5 minutes. That's the only way to monetize it. How do you monetize a Minecraft channel? Unless you put your face on a t-shirt, I don't think no one's gonna give you money. So it's such a bad niche because people are already like eating their crumbs. Like, people are already poor. So how do you expect them to pay you? Okay? And also, the monetization is not even good. YouTube pays more in the business niche than it pays in the entertainment niche, okay? Because it's more full of rich people who are more willing to buy. So take that into account. And then you have general skills, which gives you kind of like in between the two. So it's things like video editing, charisma and public speaking, or sales, or copywriting, or appointment setting. I place it in between because you can kind of like monetize it. For example, with video editing, you can sell an effects pack or SFX pack or tutorials on how to edit. On charisma, you can sell a course on how to speak publicly. Sales, you can sell a course on how to sell things. Copywriting, you're watching this video. And appointment setting. So, as you can see, things like hobbies, like Minecraft, is hard to monetize versus something like e-commerce or dropshipping, where you can straight up sell a course and it's business opportunity. You can monetize it easily. So take that into account heavily when you're choosing a niche, because if you want to go throughout the nightmare path of bad niches that everybody's broke, I wouldn't suggest you go down that path. I've gone down that path and it's not really rewarding. I mean, you get some experience, but people are really struggling there already to pay their bills and their rent. How are they going to pay you? Okay. Now, how to niche down and be more specific. So now you got the big categories. You can choose some of these that you like. How do you niche down? Because I said it's so important. Well, you want to mix and match niche groups that we talked about in the last slide. So, for example, let's say you picked info products from the business model category. You picked info product sellers. Well, you can specify a little bit more, because there's ebooks in info products, there's courses. But you want to, let's say you choose course. So now you got course sellers. It's a more specific niche. Now, let's make it more specific. You can say e-commerce course sellers, okay? And if you want to make it even more specific, you can then turn e-commerce, because dropshipping is a type of e-commerce. You can make it dropshipping course sellers. Now you got a niche. Now you search top 10 best dropshipping products on YouTube, and countless videos will pop up, and you can contact these people to be their copywriter. So now you got a niche. So you see how it's done. Let's see another example. Let's say you're into video editing like I was. Well, you can focus on video editing YouTubers. And then if you want to niche down a bit more, you can focus on video editing YouTubers selling FX and sound effects packs. Does that make sense? Trust me, it sounds way more professional when you're on a Loom call with these people, or when you Loom video. When you're on a Zoom call with these people, or you're making a Loom video and you present yourself and you say, I help video editing YouTubers selling FX and SFX packs, you will see the brightness in their eyes as they'll see, okay, this was the guy I was just looking for. This is a solution that's tailored down to my problem. Except, like, let's say you're on a call with them and you just say, yeah, I help video editors. Versus you say, I help video editing YouTubers selling FX and SFX packs. You sound like you know your shit, even though you have the same skills as a copywriter, but presenting your offer in such an appealing way is crucial, okay, when you're selling your skills. So, here's a pro tip. Make it specific, but not too underground/niche. So, on the left side, we have some good examples, like personal brands, or video editors, or website/software designers, or affiliate marketers, or scaling coaches, or dropshipping course sellers, or e-commerce coaches. These are all niches that, as we will see in the next slide, fall into the money side and the right side of the do key versus money scale. And on the right side, we have the worst niches I could think of, niches that you would find nobody in and would barely make you any money, like Wii Sports gamers. Who even plays Wii Sports in 2025? Pickleball coaches. This is like the most niche fucking, I don't know, it's British or it's from like in between Serbia, but this is some weird ass like grandpa sport. Motor railways nerds, like, bro, sitting at your mom's basement just building some train toys, like no. Vintage McDonald's toys collectors. These two niche. Spiritual breathing technique gurus, ancient foods fitness influencers, traditional Chinese massage TikTokers. How are you gonna find people in these niches? You're not. Let me tell you, you may find one or two if you're really lucky. Let's see the scale. As we mentioned, how would these niches fall on the scale? So you can see on the Doogie side, you have all these niches which will bring you little to no money, are brutal and unstable, may not be there tomorrow or in the next month or in the next 2 months. And there's barely any prospects, which is so frustrating, guys. When I was starting my outreach, I could barely find people because I was so niched down. I was niching down to self-improvement TikTokers with a certain like specific background music and picture or something. And it's like, if you are that specific, if you're a picky eater, you're not gonna eat anything. And on the right side, you have a more appealing and broad niches. So there's big money to be made, there's happy, stable work, and there's hundreds of prospects every day. Trust me, you can lift up a rock and 50 of these people will come up. Okay, so they're everywhere. Now, what to do now? You're watching this. Well, I want you to first list down your skills. Okay, just grab some pen and paper. List down what are your skills. What are some things you have some experience in. You don't have to be a pro, but just a pro enough to talk about it. Okay, list down your skills. List down the social media platforms you have more experience in. Okay, where you spend most of your time. Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram? Is it X? Is it YouTube? It was YouTube for me. I don't know about you. What are your hobbies? What are your business models? Like, what are the business models you'd want to work with? And then you want to use the niche creation examples I gave you and mix and match. What did I write? Mix and match the pieces together until you come up with a niche that's neither too broad nor too specific. Okay, you must be able to, again, 50 to 70 prospects every day in that specific niche that you came up with. So to build high level skill, again, I hate being so guru like with this, but I made a 1.5 hour copywriting course, so it's free to watch. So if you want to watch it, just click on the first link in the description, join my Discord, click on free course, and it's there for you, 5 models inside. So I hope you enjoyed this video and took some notes and subscribed and liked this video and wrote a comment about how much you love my videos. Thank you. Now get it, and it's time.